Welcome to AnimeFan Narrations, Solo Leveling, Episode 35, Chapter 84.
Will I ever cross paths with him again?
What if she never did? A strange unease settled in her mind. Fortunately, Cha-Hyun remembered the hard hat Sung Jinwoo had been wearing. His work clothes, too, had the Hunters Guild logo on them.
He must be part of our mining crew.
Unlike Attack Team A, to which she belonged, the mining team would be working again today. If Sung Jinwoo was still with them, she might have another chance to see him.
I'm going to go.
It wouldn't be unusual for the Deputy Guildmaster to drop by a raid.
I'll just play it cool and see if he's there.
Why was that? The thought of seeing that peculiar hunter again put her at ease.
I really need to sleep.
With her plan for the day set, Cha-Hyun forced herself to try and fall asleep. Before dawn, Jinwoo made his way out early, heading for the raid site at first light. Unlike yesterday, where he had joined while the raid was already underway, today was different.
Was I worrying over nothing?
Jinwoo was concerned that he might have shown up too early. However, the area around the gate was already buzzing with hunters.
Oh, Sung-si, you're here.
Team leader Bae was the first to notice him.
Sung-si's arrived.
Hey, Sung-si.
The other hunters greeted him with enthusiasm. Having a skilled teammate like him around made the group feel more confident in their shared mission.
This feels a little strange.
In the past, as an E-ranker, Jinwoo had often been met with scorn and disdain. This was the first time he was being genuinely welcomed by his fellow hunters. Still, he found their reactions quite pleasant. Jinwoo acknowledged their greetings with a quiet nod of his head.
1, 2, 3.
Team leader Bae counted the members of the mining team.
18, 19, everyone's accounted for.
That was more than enough. On a day like today, even if a couple of people had been absent, it wouldn't have mattered.
Especially now that we've got 2 aces.
As the team leader glanced at his 2-star performers, Mok Jinsu looked away, while Sung Jinwoo merely tilted his head in confusion. At that moment,
Excuse me, Team Leader Bae.
Whoa, you startled me.
the team leader nearly jumped out of his skin at the sudden voice from beside him. It was a sign of someone's skill when they could move around without anyone noticing their presence. Sure enough, the person who had startled the team leader was none other than the leader of today's raid, Sun Gi-hoon.
I swear you almost gave me a heart attack, Hunter Sun Nim.
My bad. It's just a habit I picked up in dungeons.
Sun Ji-hoon smiled apologetically. Behind him, the leader of the collection team also stepped forward.
Stop pretending you're an old man.
Huh? You too? What brings you here?
What do you mean? It's part of the job.
Team leader Bae looked at Sun Ji-hoon with a puzzled expression. The A-rank hunter scanned the mining team before speaking.
The person who usually carries our equipment didn't show up today. We'll need someone from the mining team to fill in.
Huh?
Team leader Bae's eyes widened in surprise.
There are strong guys in the collection team who are used to lugging heavy stuff. Why ask us?
As if on cue, the collection team's leader chimed in.
Our guys had to skip dinner and work for 3 hours straight yesterday. And now you want one of us to play the baggage boy today?
There was a reason the collection team had to skip their meal and work without stopping. It was because the mining team had finished their part so quickly.
Normally, we'd have been working until 7, but thanks to Sung-si, we wrapped up by 5.
Seeing the collection team leader glaring at him, team leader Bae had no comeback. Feeling that the issue was settled, Sun Gi-hoon turned to the mining team and asked,
Is anyone willing to accompany the raid team? We'll make sure you're compensated properly for the added risk.
Sun Ji-hoon looked around hopefully, but no one stepped forward. Every miner avoided eye contact in unison. It was no surprise.
You think I'm risking my neck for extra cash?
No way I'm going in there even if you drag me.
The highest-ranked miner among them was C-rank. Most of them were D-rank, with a few even being E-rankers. And Sun Ji-hoon wanted to take them into an A-rank dungeon. They would hesitate even at the thought of entering a B-rank gate, let alone an A-rank one. A single injury inside could be fatal for a low-rank hunter. Actually, forget injuries. One wrong move could cost them their lives. It wasn't a place for low-ranked hunters. Even though carrying equipment seemed like an easier task, it was still far riskier than mining.
Isn't there anyone?
Sun Ji-hoon was growing desperate. He wasn't sure how long it would take to find a replacement porter. It could cost them a quarter, half the day, or worst-case scenario, the entire day might be wasted.
This is a serious issue.
Suddenly, the A-rank hunter locked eyes with one lone individual.
What?
Unlike the other miners, this hunter was staring right at him.
Interesting.
As Sun Gi-hoon sized up Jinwoo, Jinwoo was also sizing him up.
Not bad for a tanker.
It was common knowledge that the leader of a raid was usually a tanker. But Sun Ji-hoon didn't have the typical tanker build. He was leaner than most, and with his height, he resembled a basketball player more than a tanker. After evaluating him, Jinwoo shifted his gaze elsewhere. Sun Ji-hoon finally exhaled. What was that just now? He had become so tense that he didn't even realize he had been holding his breath. The A-ranker was confused.
Was I just nervous because this is my first time leading a raid?
In previous raids, he had only played the role of a sub-tanker. But today was different. This was his big chance. He couldn't afford to mess it up. Leaning forward, he took a deep breath. Then a noise from the miners caught his attention. Was it because of his sudden movement? No, that wasn't it. Scanning the group, Son Gi-hoon noticed a hand raised high. It was the porter volunteer he had been hoping for. His face lit up with relief. Jinwoo stepped forward. All eyes were fixed on him.
I'll do it.
Solo Leveling, Chapter 85.
An E-rank hunter volunteering to enter an A-rank dungeon? Naturally, this caused a stir among the hunters.
There are high-level magic beasts waiting in there.
Sungsi, have you lost your mind?
You're still young, don't risk your life for some cash.
The mining team members surrounded him, urging him to reconsider. Team leader Bae quickly explained to Son Gi-hoon.
Oh no, that guy just started working with us. He must have raised his hand without really understanding.
What's his rank?
Well,
The team leader shot a glance at Jinwoo and then leaned in closer to whisper,
he's an E-ranker. His rank is way too low. You should probably pick someone else. It's too risky to bring him along.
Son Gi-hoon's face grew serious.
That man is an E-ranker?
The same guy who had met his gaze earlier. Admittedly, Son Gi-hoon hadn't sensed any strong magic power coming from him. But still, there was something odd. The guy gave off an indescribable, dangerous vibe.
He didn't seem like an E-ranker.
He certainly didn't have the typical look of a bottom-tier hunter. Son Gi-hoon didn't doubt team leader Bae's word, yet he couldn't ignore his instincts.
Besides, the porter's rank doesn't really matter.
All the porter had to do was carry the gear. If the situation ever got bad enough that the porter was in danger, the raid would already be in serious trouble. And in a worst-case scenario, if an A-ranker's life was on the line, it wouldn't matter if the porter was C-rank or E-rank, they'd all end up dead. With time ticking away, Son Gi-hoon decided to push forward. He looked at Jinwoo and said,
No, we'll take him. Is the load too heavy?
Son Gi-hoon asked. Jinwoo shook his head.
No, I'm good.
The bag on Jinwoo's back was filled with the raid party's gear, clothes, weapons, and armor. The bag was pretty large, but Jinwoo didn't feel its weight at all. That was thanks to his strength stat.
He doesn't seem to be struggling.
Son Gi-hoon studied Jinwoo's face for a moment before turning his attention to the gate. Jinwoo also turned his gaze forward. In front of them floated a gate that was just as large as the one from the day before.
Wait, is this one even bigger?
Though they said the magic energy leaking from today's gate was less than yesterday's. Since the raid's difficulty was measured by the magic power, not the gate size, the secondary raiding team had been sent in for this one.
The magic energy coming from this gate is nothing compared to yesterday.
Standing before the gate, Jinwoo felt reassured. It seemed like the association's assessment had been spot on. But then, why was he feeling uneasy? Just like when he stood in front of the red gate, a faint sense of dread crept over him.
I mean, it's just in my head, right?
Son Gi-hoon called out.
All right, let's move in.
The raiding team, who had been waiting around the gate, began to enter one by one. Jinwoo quietly followed after them.
You have entered the dungeon.
The inside was quite ordinary. Entering with his nerves on edge, Jinwoo relaxed a bit when he saw that the tunnel was much smaller than the one from yesterday.
Phew.
Thankfully, this wasn't a portal to another world. Although, with this party's composition, they might even be able to handle a red gate. As team leader Bae had said, in any other guild, this group would never be considered a secondary raiding team. Jinwoo smiled to himself.
I'm not even part of the raiding party, so I might as well take it easy.
Yesterday and today. In a sense, this was just another adventure for him. The only difference today was that he'd get to observe a bit more. There was no need to stay tense. Thinking this, he let himself relax a little.
Don't be so anxious.
A female healer-class hunter beside him struck up a conversation. She looked like she was in her late 20s. Noticing the stiffness in his expression, she seemed to want to put him at ease.
Gi-hoon Appa, I mean the raid leader, and everyone here are seasoned hunters. Well, except for me.
She flashed him a cheerful smile. From the start, Jinwoo hadn't felt fear, but seeing the healer's carefree demeanor, his tense nerves eased, as if someone had suddenly popped a balloon. Holding back a laugh, Jinwoo nodded.
Yeah, I got it.
The healer, now looking quite pleased with herself, wore a proud smile. Meanwhile, after confirming there were no magic beasts near the entrance, a signal was given to proceed.
Let's keep moving.
Jinwoo and the healer matched their pace with the rest of the raid, moving slowly and cautiously. Because they were paying close attention to their surroundings, their progress was deliberate and slow.
If it's too heavy, maybe I can help you carry it?
The healer glanced at Jinwoo's burden and offered. Without saying a word, Jinwoo handed her a water tank from his left hand. The moment she took it, she staggered under its weight. Jinwoo swiftly grabbed the water tank back before the healer could lose her balance. The entire party came to a halt, all eyes turning to the flustered healer.
I'm sorry.
She quickly bowed her head repeatedly, apologizing in every direction. Naturally, she didn't offer to help again. Instead, every now and then, she shot a glare in his direction. Jinwoo suppressed another laugh and acted like he didn't notice. It had been a while since he'd felt like laughing inside a dungeon,
It's risky to lose focus.
especially during his most recent raids. Thinking back on the challenge of the Demon Castle made him shudder. But today felt different. It was refreshing to just tag along unnoticed in a raid like this.
Thanks for watching Solo Leveling on AnimeFan Narrations. If you enjoyed it, please like, subscribe, and hit the bell for updates. Share your thoughts in the comments. See you next time.